What if humanity's greatest architectural achievements were not built by the civilizations we credit in our history books, but by forgotten hands thousands of years earlier? What if long before the Egyptians raised the Great Pyramid, before the Sumerians carved cuneiform into clay, before recorded history itself began, there existed builders with the knowledge and ability to create megastructures that still baffle scientists today? These monuments defy logic, challenge our timelines, and whisper of a past more advanced, more mysterious, and more powerful than we have ever dared to imagine. Tonight, we are going to journey deep into the lost shadows of time to uncover the ancient megastructures built before recorded history. Göbekli Tepe, the world's first temple. Imagine standing in southeastern Turkey, gazing at a massive site filled with towering stone pillars arranged in circles. This is Göbekli Tepe, a structure so ancient that it predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years. Archaeologists estimate that it was built around 9600 BCE, at a time when humanity was supposedly just beginning to form small farming villages. Yet here we find megalithic pillars weighing up to 20 tons, intricately carved with images of animals, abstract shapes, and symbols that seem to represent a forgotten language of the ancients. The biggest mystery: Göbekli Tepe was not used for living. It was a temple, a sacred space, a center of ritual and gathering. But if hunter-gatherers built this place, how did they organize the workforce, the tools and the knowledge to carve and transport these enormous stones? Conventional history tells us that advanced societies capable of such construction did not exist for another several thousand years. Even more puzzling is that after centuries of use, Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE. Who would build such a monumental site only to entomb it in sand and stone? Was it an attempt to preserve knowledge for future generations, or to hide secrets from prying eyes? Some theorists believe Göbekli Tepe represents the remnants of a lost civilization, a people whose achievements were far beyond what we give credit for in that distant era. Archaeologists continue to uncover only a fraction of the site, and already it has rewritten our understanding of early human society. If structures like this existed before the dawn of recorded history, what else lies hidden beneath the earth, waiting to shatter our timelines? Stonehenge and the megalithic mystery. When most people think of ancient stone circles, one name comes to mind: Stonehenge. Rising from the Salisbury Plain in England, these giant standing stones have become one of the world's most iconic symbols of prehistoric construction. Yet for all its fame, Stonehenge remains an unsolved riddle. Built in several stages over thousands of years, the earliest stones were raised around 3000 BCE, but the most impressive megaliths, the massive sarsen stones, were placed centuries later. Some of these stones weigh more than 20 tons, and others, known as the Blue Stones, were transported over 150 miles from the Preseli Hills in Wales. The question is, how? Without wheels, cranes, or advanced tools, how did these early builders move such colossal stones across such vast distances? Modern experiments have tried to replicate the feat using ropes, wooden sledges, and teams of people. But even these methods seem to fall short of what would have been practical in prehistoric times. Could there have been a technology or technique that has since been lost to us? Then there is the design itself. Stonehenge is not simply a random arrangement of stones. The site aligns with the solstices, perfectly marking the sunrise of the summer solstice and the sunset of the winter solstice. This precision suggests that its builders had advanced knowledge of astronomy. But how could people who supposedly lived in simple tribal societies calculate celestial alignments with such accuracy? Stonehenge is not unique. Across Europe, from Brittany in France to the Orkney Islands of Scotland, we find countless other megalithic structures, dolmens, menhirs, and passage tombs, all aligned with celestial events. This widespread tradition of stone building hints at a shared knowledge, a network of ideas passed between cultures long before recorded history. Were these monuments places of worship, observatories, or even ancient energy centers, as some theorists suggest? What makes this even more intriguing is that many of these structures date back to times when, according to mainstream archaeology, human societies should have been too primitive to think on such a scale. Yet they did. Stonehenge, like Göbekli Tepe, forces us to question whether there were forgotten civilizations or lost knowledge guiding these early builders. The stones still stand, weathered by time but unyielding. They remind us that before history was written, there were people capable of thinking in grand terms, of moving earth and stone to create legacies that endure for millennia. Stonehenge is more than a monument. It is a message carved in stone, whispering from a time we cannot fully understand. The Great Pyramid of Giza, beyond recorded history. Few structures on Earth capture the imagination quite like the Great Pyramid of Giza. Standing tall on the Giza Plateau of Egypt, this megastructure is considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the only one still standing. Officially, it was built around 2500 BCE as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu. But the more we study it, the more the official story begins to unravel. First, there is the sheer scale. The Great Pyramid originally stood 481 feet tall and was constructed from more than 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons. To complete this project, in the 20-year reign of Khufu, builders would have needed to place one block every 2.5 minutes, day and night, without pause. Even with modern machinery, this would be a staggering feat. For a civilization that supposedly relied on copper tools and manual labor, the task seems nearly impossible. Then comes the precision. The Great Pyramid is aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions, deviating by only a fraction of a degree. Its base is nearly a perfect square, and the difference in length between the sides is less than a few inches. The interior passages and chambers are also aligned with remarkable accuracy. Some shafts point directly to specific stars, such as Orion's belt and Sirius, suggesting advanced knowledge of astronomy. Could ancient Egyptians really have achieved such precision without more sophisticated technology than we acknowledge? And what lies beneath? Ground-penetrating radar and scans have revealed hidden cavities and tunnels beneath the pyramid, some of which have yet to be explored. Ancient texts speak of a hall of records, buried beneath the sands, a library of lost knowledge from a time before the pharaohs. While mainstream archaeologists remain skeptical, the very existence of undiscovered chambers beneath the pyramid raises tantalizing questions. The Great Pyramid also shows evidence that it may not have been designed purely as a tomb. No mummies have ever been found inside it, and its internal design does not match that of typical Egyptian burial structures. Some researchers suggest it could have served as a kind of energy generator, harnessing natural forces in ways we still do not fully comprehend. Others believe it was a monument preserving the knowledge of a much older civilization, perhaps survivors of a cataclysmic event that wiped out advanced cultures long before Egypt rose to power. Whatever the truth, the Great Pyramid stands as a megastructure that defies simple explanations. Its very presence challenges the idea that humanity's greatest leaps forward only happened after recorded history began. Perhaps, hidden within its stones and buried chambers, are the echoes of a world that existed long before we are willing to admit. Baalbek, Puma Punku, and other impossible stonework. In the ancient city of Baalbek, located in modern-day Lebanon, lies one of the most confounding megastructures ever built, the Temple of Jupiter. Today, its ruins still inspire awe, but it is the foundation stones known as the trilithon that truly defy belief. Each of these 3 colossal blocks weighs nearly 800 tons, and they were precisely placed side by side without gaps. Nearby, a 4th stone, the stone of the pregnant woman, remains partially quarried and weighs over 1,000 tons. How could ancient builders, thousands of years ago, move and position stones of such immense size? Even modern cranes would struggle with the task. The precision of their placement suggests knowledge of advanced techniques we have not yet rediscovered. Mainstream archaeologists attribute the site to the Romans, but the scale of these megaliths far surpasses anything else the Romans ever constructed. Many believe the Romans built upon an even older platform, one that may have belonged to a forgotten civilization that mastered stonework in ways beyond our understanding. Thousands of miles away in Bolivia lies another riddle carved in stone: Puma Punku. Part of the ancient Tiwanaku complex, Puma Punku features massive andesite and sandstone blocks cut with remarkable precision. Some blocks weigh over 100 tons, yet they were transported from quarries miles away. Even more puzzling are the interlocking stone shapes, particularly the H blocks, which fit together with machine-like accuracy. These cuts and angles are so precise that some researchers claim they resemble modern engineering techniques rather than primitive stone chiseling. The orthodox explanation is that the Tiwanaku people built Puma Punku around 500 CE, but that does not fully explain the level of craftsmanship. Without advanced tools, how could they have achieved such geometrical perfection? And why does the site appear far older than the surrounding ruins, suggesting it may predate the Tiwanaku civilization itself? Some theorists propose that Puma Punku was a legacy site, inherited from an earlier culture whose knowledge has been lost to history. Other sites around the world echo this mystery. At Ollantaytambo in Peru, massive terraces are supported by precisely cut stones that seem to slot together like puzzle pieces. In Egypt, the Osirian at Abydos lies deep underground and features granite blocks cut with uncanny precision, as though they were crafted with tools far beyond what the Egyptians should have possessed. These structures share common features: enormous stones, impossible precision, and mysterious origins that blur the lines of history. Are they evidence of a forgotten global culture, one that existed long before recorded history and was wiped out by some cataclysm? Or are they the scattered achievements of independent societies, each somehow unlocking advanced building techniques in isolation? The truth remains buried in stone, but one thing is certain: Baalbek, Puma Punku, and sites like them stand as undeniable proof that humanity as past holds secrets far greater than we have been taught. Yonaguni Monument, Nan Madol, and the lost cities of the sea. Far beneath the waves, off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Island, lies a mysterious structure that has sparked debate for decades. The Yonaguni Monument. Discovered by a diver in the 1980s, the site features massive stone terraces, staircases, and what appear to be pillars and platforms. At first glance, the monument looks man-made, with right angles and geometric patterns that seem too precise to be the result of natural erosion. Some researchers even describe what appears to be a massive stepped pyramid rising from the ocean floor. Mainstream geologists argue that the Yonaguni Formation could simply be a natural structure shaped by tectonic activity and underwater currents, yet others believe it is the submerged remains of a lost civilization, possibly dating back to over 10,000 years ago when sea levels were far lower. If true, this would push the origins of advanced architecture far beyond the accepted timeline of human history. Could Yonaguni be evidence of an advanced society that thrived during the last ice age, only to be swallowed by the rising seas? A similar enigma can be found in the Pacific, at the ruins of Nan Madol on the island of Pohnpei in Micronesia. Known as the Venice of the Pacific, Nan Madol is a sprawling city built on a series of artificial islets connected by canals. The most astonishing aspect of Nan Madol is its construction. Massive basalt logs, each weighing several tons, stacked like giant pieces of stone lumber to form towering walls and platforms. How did the island's ancient inhabitants transport and stack such heavy stones without the benefit of metal tools, wheels, or large draft animals? Even today, engineers puzzle over how such a feat could have been achieved with the technology available. Legends among the local people speak of magical forces or giants who aided in the construction of the city. Whether myth or metaphor, these stories underline just how extraordinary the achievement was. And then there are the countless legends of sunken cities told across cultures worldwide. From the Greek tale of Atlantis to the Indian stories of Dwarka, these myths speak of entire civilizations swallowed by the sea. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence of submerged ruins off the coast of India, near Dwarka, suggesting that at least some of these legends may be rooted in truth. Rising sea levels after the last ice age could have submerged coastal settlements, erasing their memory from history while leaving behind enigmatic ruins deep beneath the ocean. What unites Yonaguni, Nan Madol, and the tales of lost cities is the possibility that much of humanity's earliest architecture lies hidden underwater, waiting to be rediscovered. If these structures truly predate recorded history, they hint at a forgotten era when humans were building megastructures on a scale we can scarcely imagine today. Perhaps our greatest historical mysteries are not on land at all, but beneath the waves, where the sea keeps the secrets of civilizations erased from time.